So I was asked to share some of my tips. One of the things is, UV protecting the zippers. Simply, regardless of what we do, the sun is always going to have its go with everything we do here. You need to cover the zip. So for a flat side-by-side zip, I do canvas on the outside and I trim off the inside with we're using a PVC, yes. Keeping the same width as the zipper so that it's a nice tidy zip, you don't have any extra, and it's really flat when you avoid using too many layers. So I've only got 2 layers here. I have no binding on it, and yet it's still finished nicely on the inside so it doesn't catch on the zipper. That's one version, that's the flat side by side, or the front flat version. Same thing, 40, because we know that the zipper's tape is 40 centimetres, 40 millimetres wide. 40 millimetres. And the same sort of system, PVC on the inside, stitched over the top, you don't see it. The zipper is out of the way, again, it's cut so that it's out of the way so you don't get it catching in there. But it minimises the amount of bulk on the windscreen. It stabilises it, and it means that you've got a much better view through the windscreen when you don't have too much bulk involved. To do something like this, I have my system where I know that the flap over the top has to be 40 millimetres. I know that my inside one is basically a seam stick for us, which is 12 millimetres wide. So I've cut my PVC 12 millimetres wide on this one, which fits in just inside there. This one goes off over the top of the whole thing. So I then get my canvas, stick my canvas, I've folded it down, I've put my tape on it, and I just follow that along. So that's the 40. This one again I've also folded down, pulled this off, stick this down, and then run that under the sewing machine briefly. So yeah, just sew that on, keeping the inside foot on the edge of that material, knowing that that's where the zipper's line's going to end up as well. Just sew that on. That sounds okay. Far too high. That back. Okay, so I've stitched that on. It's caught on both sides nice and evenly. What I want to do now is stick this down here. I'm folding the canvas in on the inside, like so, and then coming back along and stitching the PVC side down. Again, inside of the foot, tucking it inside, making sure it doesn't get caught underneath, and just stitching along there. Like so. And I do the same to the other thinner side. So in the end, you've got a really nice flat line, both sides. You don't see that, you've got to remember, because that's the inside of the zip. The zip would then come along and literally sit on top there. My zip, again, peel it off, put it on, so it's nice and even. Throw that on in there. Again, stitch down there. You can do it from either side. If you want to make sure you get along that stitch line, you can do it from the outside, not a big deal. Doesn't tend to move once the tape is on it. Put it under there. Another thing is, most of these clears, and the larger we get, we tend to double stitch all our zippers. We just prefer it. On here. Excuse me. Trapped in. Yeah, okay. we've got our double stitch line in here. Looks pretty good from the outside too. Double stitch lines. Then we would do the same thing for this, tucking it underneath. Yes, it is a bit trickier because it's a lot smaller, but it can be done. And then you'll end up having it looking like that. There you go.